6:30 kickoff on Wednesday. It's the first round of the Spanish Cup, and these players have a busy month coming up. And of course, things don't stop in football. Things move very quickly, and Santiago Solari, an experienced Real Madrid man, is at the helm. 5 years as a player, 5 years as a coach within the club, and he's finally got himself to the top of the tree within the coaching staff at the club, and he's in charge of the first team, as we say, provisionally at the moment. But who knows? Santiago Solari is a winner. He's proven that in a great career as a player. Champions League winner with Real Madrid on that famous night in Glasgow in 2002. The night, of course, Zinedine Zidane scored that fantastic goal. Well, Santiago Solari, of course, was on the pitch as well. He knows what it takes at this club. He knows what is required from him. And there he is, looking calm and collected. And we're going to hear, we think, from Santiago Solari. We're almost sure there's a press conference called for around about 1 p.m. Central European time, to hear from Santiago Solari. Hear his thoughts ahead of Wednesday's game against Melilla in the Spanish Cup. But I'm sure he'll be asked in general what his thoughts are, and be the first meeting between the former Argentine international player and the press as first team coach of Real Madrid. But of course, he's a well-known figure at Real Madrid. He's been in charge of the B team, Real Madrid Castilla, for the past 3 seasons, and they're doing quite well at the moment in the upper part of the league, and he's well thought of at Real Madrid. He's worked his way up from coaching the under-15s, the under-16s, the under-17s, and straight into Castilla, which is always a difficult job in Second Division B. And remember, of course, the last man who came up to be first team coach from previously managing Real Madrid Castilla was Zinedine Zidane, and we all know what happened after that. So these players, well, for them it's just another day's training. They're out. It's actually a pretty grim day in Madrid. The rain's coming down, it's cold. The seasons are changing very quickly now. After well, the back end of the summer, it was t-shirts and sunglasses weather last week, and there we can see Isco out with his with the scarf around him, and I think that is Dani Ceballos with the covering on the head there. Some of these players suffering the cold more than others. Alvaro Odriozola in the middle there from the Basque Country won't mind a bit of rain. But for these players, well, it's a busy month ahead, finishing October, as we say, on Wednesday evening away to Melilla, team from Second Division B. Smiles from Gareth Bale. It'll be interesting to see what side Solari picks for that game, because of course games coming up thick and fast as we head into November. Real Madrid at home on Saturday to Valladolid in La Liga, where it's crucial to pick up points quickly now. It's very, very even at the top of La Liga. Real Madrid can't give up hope there. They're only 7 points from the top. They're in 9th position, but so even at the moment. Everybody beating everybody at the top of La Liga. The chances are available to improve on that position, of course, and that starts with Valladolid on Saturday. And it's a busy month of November, because after that there's 4 away games in a row for Real Madrid. They're away to Pilsen in the Champions League, where a win there would almost guarantee their place in the knockout round. As the players head over to the other side of the training ground, continue to warm up. But probably more important to warm up well today than on most days. Real Madrid away next Wednesday week, tomorrow, in the Czech Republic to Victoria Pilsen. 9 p.m. kick-off that game before coming back, and as we say, going away again, 2 La Liga games away, 2 fixtures in a row away from home. There is an international break in November as well, but on the 11th of November, Real Madrid away to Celta Vigo, and on the 24th of November they are away to Eibar, before finishing off the month again away to Roma. So Real Madrid's only home game before the end of November, next Saturday against Valladolid. And well, it'd be interesting to see how Santiago Solari goes into things with this squad. The teams he picks and the teams he chooses for different games in the 3 competitions that they're facing now. But as I say, he's a winner. 2 Argentine leagues, 2 Spanish leagues with Real Madrid, 2 Spanish Super Cups as well with Real Madrid during his time as a player between 2000 and 2004. And then he went to Italy, and he was in Internazionale and successful there as well, with 3 Italian league titles, an Italian Cup and an Italian Super Cup, and also on the European stage, greatly experienced Argentine international. And apart from winning that Champions League in 2002 with Real Madrid, he also won the European Super Cup in the same year, and Intercontinental Cup as well for Real Madrid. So a greatly experienced player, not so experienced as a first team coach, but he is de la casa, as they say in Spanish. He's from within the club, and a steady hand to look after this first team squad for however long that may take. Santiago Solari, 5 years as a player, 5 years as a coach at Real Madrid, and now first team coach. And there he is. Always a very stylish, elegant player in his day, and I'm sure he'll continue that style in his management career. And as I say, we will hear from Santiago Solari in the traditional pre-match press conference, 1 p.m, around about 1 p.m. We're expecting him to appear before the press, and the main focus will be that game on Wednesday against Melilla in the Spanish Cup. But well, I'm sure the press will be given free rein to ask Solari about his own opinions going into this project now as the first team coach. There is Sergio Ramos wrapped up as well against the elements. And the other thing you can imagine that Solari will be asked is who will be starting in his first game against Melilla on Wednesday night. It's a bit of a conundrum because he wants to get off to a good start. He'd also want to give players a rest, players who were involved last weekend, who will be looking to be involved again on Saturday against Valladolid in La Liga. Perhaps will be rested. People like Luka Modric there in your picture. But at the same time, Real Madrid will be looking for a positive result from Melilla, a team that they can't take for granted, a team that's top of their league in the second Division B, the third level of Spanish football. And Melilla will be gunning for Real Madrid on Wednesday night, as always, the underdogs in a cup fight. So it'll have to be a competitive side. Karim Benzema there also wrapped up. I think it was him who had the hat and scarf on earlier in the rondo. As the rain pours down, a lot of them with headgear on this morning. But things continue at Real Madrid for these players. Another day on the training pitch, and they'll go into today's session. Should be a light session for those players who are expected to travel, certainly. Dani Carvajal is continuing with his recuperation. Haven't spotted him so far with the first team squad, but he has been seen in recent days kicking the ball at Valdebebas. He should be back sometime soon. No headgear for Gareth Bale, used to a bit of rain from where he comes from. And it's also going to be interesting just to see how these training sessions plan out as well. New man, new methods. Santiago Solari probably mix things up a little bit for these players today. There is Vinicius and Marco Asensio, players who could be involved against Melilla on Wednesday evening. Remember, we have build up to that match, 7:30 p.m. kickoff on Wednesday evening. We'll be building up to that around 10 to 7 Central European time with the match live, all the news and build up to the game against Melilla, and then afterwards as well, post-match, stay with Real Madrid TV for all the post-match analysis of that game. Tony Cruz, another player who's probably used to the inclement conditions, and he doesn't seem too bothered about a bit of rain, as the goalkeepers prepare on the other side of the pitch. Keylor Navas, Kiko Casillas and Thibaut Courtois getting through their work. Separate warm-ups for them. A lot of ball work already for the goalkeepers. But that is the scene this morning from Valdebebas. You can tell how bad the weather is in Madrid this morning, because you can normally see the 4 buildings there in the background, 4 skyscrapers. Covered in fog this morning, on a wet morning in the Spanish capital. But another day on the training pitch for these players. And as we say, a new coach, Santiago Solari, who's going to have an introductory chat with these players. He will know many of them, of course, from within the club. As I say, he's been within the club for 5 years as a coach, 5 years here as a player as well. Greatly experienced, a winner with a great number of winners' medals as a player, both at Real Madrid and in his career elsewhere. He also started his career in Argentina, winning Argentine championships with River Plate. Always played at big clubs. River Plate had a year at Atletico Madrid before he came to Real Madrid. But that's all we have time for at the moment from Valdebebas. Join us around 1 o'clock for the press conference of Santiago Solari.
Welcome along to Extra Time after what was a difficult weekend for Madridistas. Real Madrid, of course, losing the Clásico at the Camp Nou against Barcelona. Wasn't a particularly good performance from Real Madrid. We'll look back at the game, see where Real Madrid went wrong and look ahead to how they can improve in the forthcoming matches. Sid Lowe, Fred Hermel and Rodrigo Marcial joining me as ever in the studio. Sid, there was a period in the second half when Real Madrid really went for it, and if things had gone a little bit differently, Luka Modric hit the post, it could have been a different game, but ultimately Barcelona overall were better than Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? It was a strange Clásico. It was a very exciting Clásico. It was also a very strange one because I think Lopetegui said afterwards that 5-1 perhaps didn't reflect everything that had been seen on the pitch, and I think in that 20-minute period you would say that he was probably right, but by the end the sensations were that it maybe 5-1 was too much, but certainly the Barcelona victory was what you'd anticipate. I thought Madrid's first half performance was desperately poor. They lacked presence, they lacked any aggression, they lacked any real ambition, they played very, very deep. It just seemed, while Barcelona didn't create very many chances, the sense was that this team is too strong for Real Madrid. And then that second half reaction was really, really good. Tactically, an interesting idea, going to three at the back with wing-backs, it really worked. I know partly conditioned by Varane's injury, but the foresight